Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to get hands-on with some cloud pen testing, specifically in Azure. Now, if you're new to the cloud, there's kind of three kings in the cloud universe. You have AWS, Azure, and GCP. And we're going to be working on a platform called Pwn Labs. Now, let me share with you what Pwn Labs is. If you've never heard of it, Pwn Labs is sort of like Hack the Box or Try Hack Me, but for the cloud. And I mean, it really is amazing. They have hands-on realistic scenarios that cover all three of those platforms, Azure, AWS, and GCP. They have cyber ranges, which are like full red team networks with multiple flags and multiple cloud things. There's a lot of free rooms right here, so you can actually see this right here. All of these rooms, they're called labs on here. I'm thinking of Try Hack Me where things are called rooms, but all the ones that say free really are free, no strings attached, and there's quite a few. I keep loading them to show you guys the free rooms. So even without a sub, you can get a free room, but if you do want to get a sub, it's really affordable. It's about $200 a year, but quick self-promotion, over on the HackSmarter Discord, we have a discount code, so you can get 15% off an annual sub to Pwn Labs. So go to HackSmarter, if I could type, hacksmarter.org on our sweet website and catoutdiscord.text, and there is a link to our Discord server. So if you haven't yet, make sure you join our Discord server. I will grab that and drop a link in the chat for all of you. And then also our website is hacksmarter.org. But come join Discord. And in the announcements of the Discord, I just shared a 15% discount code off Pwn Labs. But make a free account now and give it a shot. The lab that we are going to do today does require a subscription. So if you don't have a subscription, you won't be able to follow along hands-on. But hey, you can live vicariously through me and get a taste for the platform. But if we sort our labs by latest labs, we are going to do this one. Abuse Azure Logic App Automation. Now, I already have the lab pulled up right here. We'll jump over on here. Abuse Azure Logic App Automation. And this is a really cool lab. We're going to go from OSINT, or open source intelligence, to pwning a, well, quite real Azure environment. So here's our scenario. If I can zoom in. It says, our red team has been conducting an open source intelligence gathering operation focused on our organization. During this process, they uncovered a potentially concerning social media post made by one of our newly appointed managers. The post appears to contain information that could be leveraged by malicious actors. We've been assigned to investigate this discovery further, so HackSmarter is in the building. Your task is to analyze the provided social media post and assess its potential for establishing an initial foothold in our systems. We need you to explore possible attack vectors, evaluate the risk to our organization, and determine how this information might be exploited by potential adversaries. So a really common thing we see in the real world. Someone started a new job, they made a LinkedIn post or a social media post saying, hey, I started my new job at Pwn Labs, check out all the cool stuff I'm doing, but in the screenshot, they maybe shared some sensitive information, and that's what we are going to dig into. So I'm not going to read the whole guide, you can. Here's the cool thing, guys, about Pwn Labs. If you're brand new to the cloud, they have detailed guides on every single lab that you do, and also it will tell you whether or not it's suitable for a CTF approach, which this one is. But we begin with the social media picture. So let's go ahead and open up this picture, not copy it, we'll open it. Here is the picture. So this employee looks like Ryan right here. Our red team has undertaken OSINT already and found a post from Ryan Lin, a mega big tech employee on LinkedIn, expressing excitement about joining the company and also taking the AZ-305 exam. In this post, it looks like Ryan has inadvertently shared a screenshot containing sensitive information that should not be publicly disclosed. So let's see what we should see here. And looking over at chat, let's hear a snippet. Sorry, Ralph, I cannot give you a snippet. If I could, I would. But like in my song, I detail the entire storyline for Advent of Cyber 2024. So I can't really give you any type of snippet without, I guess I could show you the chorus. I might show you guys the chorus at the end, because the chorus won't give anything away. What up, Hengry? Good to have you here. We have Masood. What is up? Good morning for you. Good evening for me. But here's the screenshot that our employee shared. So a few things that stand out to me. Maybe one thing that we could do is open up Flameshot. What? Surely I have Flameshot installed. How do I not have Flameshot installed? All right. Let's get Flameshot installed real quick. Flameshot, if you're wondering what it is just, if you ever see me taking screenshots of my streams, this is what I'm using. Now that I think of it, I guess this is a relatively new VM, so maybe that's why I don't have it installed. All right, thank you. We have it. So if we take Flameshot, we can just highlight this entire page. and we'll grab a few things that might stand out to us. So let me grab my little highlighter right here. A few things if I was an attacker. One, we have the name of a VM right here, this dev team VM. So we know the name of a virtual machine, probably not a great thing to share. We also know a resource group, also not a great thing to share. We know the location, where it's at least an Azure location. We have at least some of the subscription ID. We have the public IP address, so we could try to attack the public IP address. We have the virtual network subnet, not super helpful to us. So if we were an attacker, a few things we already know. We know that the victim, megabigtech.com, uses Azure. We know that they have some type of dev team VM that has a public IP address. We could port scan it, we could dig into it, see what information we can find. Looking over here, we can see that this new manager is studying for the AZ305, the Designing Microsoft Azure Infrastructure Solution, so that is cool. And we see that they are authenticating via the AZ CLI, or the Azure Command Line interface, into the environment. We can see the default domain right there of megabigtech.com, the display name. We have the tenant ID that might also be helpful. And we have, it's hard to see here, but you can make out some of it where we have this AZ login. They're logging in with their password on the command line, and we have a hint right here. It says logging in with username and password on the command line is strongly discouraged. So we have a lot of information here that might be worth digging into just based on the user's social media screenshot. Dude, what is up, Neffels? Neffels, if I understood correctly in Discord, you helped make this lab too, right? It was you and Bruce? If so, awesome job on it. But this is all the interesting information to us. So once again, very much a real world scenario. You'll often notice when someone starts a new job at a place, they might take a picture of their employee ID badge or maybe their workstation. And if you pay attention to the pictures that are there, they might be leaking some sensitive information to potential threat actors, which is what is happening in this scenario. Now I'm going to exit out of this view real quick. Can I zoom in on this view? No, I can't. All right, we're going to exit out. But if we do zoom in over to this, we have, I didn't even highlight this in the picture, but we have this as well. We have what appears to be his email. So you'll notice in organizations, there's often different formats for doing email, right? So if I just open up my mouse pad right here, if I am Tyler Ramsey, which I am, and I work at megabigtech, my username might be tramsby@megabigtech.com. It could be tyler.ramsby@megabigtech.com. Could be tyler@megabigtech.com. Right, so depending on the organization, there's different ways of doing an email, but on this image that this employee shared, we can see, whoops, I don't want to do that, I just want to delete. We can see right here, his likely email is Ryan, maybe dot would be my guess, ryan.lin@megabigtech.com, so ryan.lin@megabigtech.com. And so we have a possible username to work with, but our first step is just confirming that that is a valid user, and that's the user that we want to attack. Now, over on Pwn Labs, they have a boot camp all about attacking Azure and a corresponding cert that goes with it. So I'm going to give you a glimpse at some of my notes because I use my notes when I do these labs, and I'm going to give you a glimpse of my notes. Now, if you do sign up for the boot camp through Pwn Labs, you get full access to my notes. I took these notes when I was going through the boot camp and just gave it to Pwn Labs and said, hey, give this to anyone that you want. But I'm going to share with you some of my notes. This is not the one that's publicly shared, so you can't like grab the URL from it. I made that mistake once in a live stream of sharing the URL on accident. So I have learned my mistake. But if we jump over to my notes here, here is my notes from the Microsoft Cloud and Attack Defense with Pwn Labs. So once again, if you sign up for this, you'll get full access to all my notes. But one of the sessions, the first session, is getting initial access to the Microsoft Cloud. And what we want to do right now is identify what valid credentials we have. And just looking at my notes from the bootcamp, you can see that we use a tool called O365 enum.py. So let's go ahead and grab that, and we'll see if we can find it over on GitHub. And we have this O365 user enumeration. So enumerate valid usernames from Office 365 using ActiveSync Auto-Discover Office.com login page. It will read usernames from the file provided as the first parameter. The file should have one username per line. We can kind of look at the code. Always a helpful thing to do this. I made a video on how there was a crypto miner in a GitHub link that people were using, but this is a legit GitHub, and you can see all it's doing is loading our username, and then depending on what argument we pass it's going to try to see if we can get some username enumeration. So let's go ahead and back out to here. We will scroll to the top, grab the code. I'm going to click copy to clipboard, open up my terminal, And I will zoom in for you all so you can see it a little bit clearer. And we'll do git clone, type that in, cd over to it, and we have it right there. We'll see if I can just run it. Okay, cool, I can. So we can see what it takes. We need a user list, a password, and then the method that we want to do. So first, we just need to drop in our username. We'll just, I guess, make a separate text file. So we can do nano, and we'll call it user.text, and ryan.lin@megabigtech.com is who we think the potential user is. So let's go ahead and run this tool. We'll do Python 3 this. We want to pass it our user list, so -u for lowercase u, user.text, and password. We don't need to try a password. We won't do that right now. We just want to see if the user exists, which I don't know if there's an enumerate feature. I don't think there is. Well, we have a method. We can do methodoffice.com and just cross our fingers and see if my syntax is correct. All right. So far, so good. You can see we have ryan.lin@megabigtech.com and 1, as in this is a valid user. So far, so good. And we can just jot that here. Usually I use Notion to take my notes, but we can do it here in Notepad, or Mousepad rather. And we'll say valid username is ryan.lin@megabigtech.com. So from there, though, we still need to figure out a way to get initial access to Ryan's account. And if you remember, when we looked at our screenshot, we did see a possible password being typed here. Before I do that, let me jump over it, chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. 2AR said, might have to get Pwn Lab soon. It's well worth the money, well worth your time. Super affordable for learning cloud stuff. Once again, if you join the Hexameter Discord, you can get an annual sub to Pwn Labs for $170 for the entire year, which is amazing. What's up, Default Sec? Good to have you here. Shanda said, hey, Tyler, would you be able to do a video about the new OSCP Plus exam? I actually did a video about it, so go to my YouTube channel and you should be able to find it. And I guess real quick self-promotion for those of you watching the live stream, my primary platform is YouTube, so if you do not follow me on YouTube, you should. That's where I post all my videos, all my other standalone stuff after the fact, so let me grab the link there, drop it in chat, and I don't know why I did theme refresh, but go to YouTube. But okay. Looking back at our screenshot, we have a command here, and I'll show you what this looks like. It's AZ login, which I don't even have installed. So we're going to have to install the AZ CLI, which I think it's this. Sudo apt install AZ CLI. Oh, nope. Okay. How about AZ CLI like that? Okay, no. So step 1, install AZ CLI Linux. That's going to be our first one. Oh, it's pipx. That's right. Thank you, Nefos. Pipx. I don't have that installed either. All right, hold up, guys. This is the problem with new VMs. But the cool thing about new VMs is you get to see the full install process as I get all the tools up and running. But there, oh, come on. Is it that? I don't want to update my machine. No. Upgrading 26 solid one, removing one, not upgrading. But then it bugged out because I haven't updated the Kali instance. We'll try it again. This usually fixes it, but apparently not. Was my syntax incorrect? You can see it from here. We'll just do update.y. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. If it takes too long, the beauty of video editing is I'll just speed us up, but this should fix it. Why use pipx? So pipx Cyber Research automatically stores all your tools in their own Python virtual environments. So if you regularly use random Python tools, you'll notice that using one tool breaks previous tools, whereas pipx, if you install it that way, they're all in their own virtual environment and you don't have those issues. There we go. That wasn't too bad. What is up, Y.Q? We are doing a new lab from Pwn Labs. We're doing some OSINT and some Azure hacking and all that fun stuff, but we're just getting started. So welcome to the party. We identified a valid user. Now we're going to try to get their password, but I don't even have the AZ CLI installed on this VM. So you guys get to see the full install process. But it is just about done for the AZ CLI. And once again, this is cool for those of you who might be new to AZ and Azure. You can see the full process right here. So now we can do pipx install AZ CLI. I think it's AZ CLI or it's AZ-CLI. Might be AZ-CLI. My VM is going to bug out. Check the Kali documentation. Yellow. We'll see what happens. The beauty of live streaming. You just fix it live as you go. Troubleshoot. Get mad. Hit your keyboard and rinse and repeat. That is what live streaming consists of. It looks like it's actually installing it now. So while it installs it, here's the toughest thing about this lab. Is trying to guess this password, and I ended up having to look at the lab guide myself. Usually I try to do these without the lab guide, but I cannot figure out what this password was, right? So you can, if we zoom in enough, you can see it right here, right? So we can guess some of those letters. There's that. All right, it's still installing. So if we pull this up, we can try to play it basically a hangman game. Right? Some possible letters for the password. So as you guys look at this in live stream, what do you think these are? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, 10. We'll just say 10 characters, right? So 1, we'll have some possibilities. 2, we'll have some possibilities. 3, we'll have some possibilities. 4, etc., etc. And we'll have some possible characters, and we're going to see if we can figure out the password. Is this just taking its sweet time? It looks like it is. So this threw me off for quite a while. So this first one could be an S. Maybe an O. I don't know why it disappeared. The second one looks like a U or an A to me. That one's definitely a P. Okay, this one could be, this could be an E as well. This could be an E. It could also be an O. I mean, it could potentially be an S2. This. Yeah, guys, so this is hard. Now, I know what it's going to be. I did this ahead of time, and I tried to do the full thing blind when I went through it. Is this done? Okay, hold up. Oh, Azure CLI. Let's fix this. So it's Azure CLI that I need to install. All right. Go back to this. All right, which one we're at? We're at character 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5. So 5, could be like an L or an R like that. Okay, we're at character 6 right here. That looks like, it could be a capital R. That's what it looks like to me. And if his name's Ryan, we can kind of begin to put the context clues together because that sure looks like a Y to me. And that looks like an A, which means that second character is probably an A as well. So we can just probably say that's an A. Or a U. They look very similar, don't they? And then this could be a few things. Character 9 could be like LL, II, N. And character 10 right there looks like a dot. So it could be an exclamation mark or a dot. What's your guys' best guess when you're looking at that? So default sec AI doesn't work to guess this. I tried. X ticker, you're right on the mark, my friend. Of Super Ryan. So we'll try to see if AI can get it from here, but if you just take a screenshot of this is how I initially did it. I took like a zoomed in screenshot like this and sent it to ChatGPT, and he wasn't able to figure it out. Hey. Oh wait. We need to do pipx ensure path. All right, and now we'll source our... Oh, whoops, that was a bad idea. Okay, let me zoom in again for you guys. All right, we have that installed now. So what he's doing is he's doing az login/u ryan.lin megabigtech.com/p, and then he's passing his password there, and that's what the screenshot is that we're looking at. But let's jump over to this, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen just for a moment while I log into almighty ChatGPT. Actually, I think I'm logged in on Firefox on that. Let me check. All right. We have our ChatGPT friend. And if we give ChatGPT, we'll see if he's able to figure this out. This is a password for a CTF. Not sure the characters for sure. What possible passwords could this make? What is he doing? We'll see if we can talk him into it. All right, yeah, he's not getting it. But this is the part that was hard for me, and probably like the only feedback for Pwn Labs is this part was very not... I personally don't think it was very CTF friendly. The rest of it is, but this part's like... It would be hard to guess that, and I'll show it to you guys if we scroll down. You can see kind of what we did. They put it all together, and then they were able to ask ChatGPT, and he was able to guess Super Ryan or some combination of Super Ryan with a dot at the end. So we could say, if we delete, we don't want to delete all this, rather. There's some possible things. We know it's Super Ryan with something at the end. So it could be Super Ryan like that. It could be Super Ryan like that. It could be Super Ryan like that. It could be Super Ryan like that would be the possible combinations. But that's the part that's hard. You said their image shows more, does it? Yeah, theirs is a little easier to see, isn't it? Maybe I just didn't zoom in enough, but I got stuck on that. I couldn't figure out what the frick it was. Like I knew what I was supposed to do, but I couldn't get the right password from that. But we have some possible passwords here. So now we want to do some password spraying. If we go back over to my notes from when I did the boot camp, you can see this right here. Once we have valid emails, oh, you need to use GIMP as you can also clean it up. Gotcha. So that'd be the way to do it, is using GIMP. But once we have valid emails, we can do password spraying with O365 User Finder. And so let's go ahead and grab that tool next. We'll just copy it right there. Go over here, and we'll see if we can find it on GitHub. And we'll grab it here. This is created by, I believe, the mayor, who just gave, or maybe it's, is this the mayor? Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. The mayor made a different tool, but this one isn't made by him. All right, got it. Let's go ahead and grab this. We'll get clone, O365 User Finder, and Python 3. Does it work? All right, cool, it does. And you can see what we're all able to do. So we need to pass it a domain, which we have, megabigtech.com. We need an email, which we also have. Ryan, oh, that is his GitHub account. Jeez. I'm just stumbling through this. I didn't realize that was just GitHub. So it is the mayor. Thank you, Nephilus, for that. But we need a domain, which we have. We need an email, which we have. And we need to pass it a password to be tested, which we have some possible passwords, but I believe we can password spray, which is right here. Password spray is a list of accounts using graph. Let's scroll down and just see the syntax of this. Can we pass it a list of passwords itself? I don't know if we can. Here, what was my syntax here? So that was a password spray at a list of users. But that's not what we want to do, I guess. Because we know the user. This would be a better way to find users. How about this tool right here, O365 spray? I think that might be better because then we can spray our users and then passwords. Let's actually try that one instead. And once again, these are just my tools from the bootcamp. So you do the bootcamp, you'll be able to go through all of this as well and learn some of this material, and I highly recommend it. Oh, not that one. Oh, 365. Jeez. All right. Is there anything special on using this? So we can validate, we can enum, and we can spray. And what we want to do is spray. We'll see if I can run it without installing anything. And I can, at least so far. And if we look back at my notes, we can kind of see our syntax right here. So I'm just going to copy my syntax and we'll fill it in, right? Although we're going to have to add our users, although we do have our users, but we need to add our possible passwords, which is right here. So we'll just copy that. We'll do nano pass.text. Polnav's bootcamp are yours. I missed that earlier. Polnav's bootcamp. It's a bootcamp by Polnav's that I went through myself, like as a student. All right, now we can follow this syntax. So we'll do Python 3, O365 spray.py. We're going to do spray. We'll do -u, and our users will be, we'll go up a directory. I could have swore I had a user thing here. Did I not save him? Oh, weird. I'm going to have to rewatch my stream because I could have swore I made a user folder. Oh, I bet I made it in one of the other directories. All right, that's fine. So Python 3, O365, and then we'll do spray. Our users is user.text. Our password is pass.text. I don't know if lockout really matters, so we'll just do 5, and domain is megabigtech.com. All right, and we found one set of valid credentials right here, and you can see it right there. We have ryan.lin@megabigtech.com, and it was super Ryan with the lowercase s, followed by an exclamation mark. So we can go ahead and grab that, and we know that we have some valid credentials. So we'll go back over to here, and we'll say valid credentials. We have ryan.ling@megabigtech.com and super Ryan exclamation mark. Now with that, there's a few things we can try. We can try to log in on the AZ CLI like we saw that user do. So if we do AZ login, I believe it's -u, ryan.lin@megabigtech.com, -p followed by the password, super Ryan. We'll do that in quotes and we'll have to escape the exclamation mark. And no subscriptions were found for ryan.lin@megabigtech.com. We could try allow no subscription, but I don't know what that's all going to do for us. So that allows us to connect if we allow no subscription. But one incredible tool for kind of pillaging data and enumerating an Azure environment is GraphRunner. And let me show you all about GraphRunner because I'll have to install it myself. If we just type GraphRunner GitHub, here it is. GraphRunner is a post-exploitation toolset for interacting with the Microsoft Graph API. It provides various tools to perform reconnaissance, persistence, and pillaging of data from a Microsoft Entra ID Azure AD account. And I believe we also have a nice wiki for it. So let's grab our code down, and then we'll follow the wiki to understand how to use it. Do graph runner like so. All right, and jump over to here. You can see the first thing we need to do even on here is to import the module. So we're gonna have to switch over to PowerShell because we're running this in Kali Linux. And in Kali Linux, you can switch over to PowerShell with PWSH. That should drop us in a PowerShell. And then we can do import module. And we will do graphrunner.ps1 like so. And we have it. If we jump over to our wiki to understand everything that we are doing, we have a few different options. We have a PowerShell script, which we just did. We also have a GUI, which would be an interesting thing to do, and maybe we can show that off. That gives us a graphical user interface to be used with an access token, so we need to get an access token. But step one is authentication. So it just says, hey, get graph tokens. So let's just give that a shot and see if it works. All right, it says go to here, use a browser, and log in. So let's give that a shot. I don't think there'd be any reason I can't share my screen, but let me double check. All right, no, we're good. So we'll grab the code. All right, good, we're good. I didn't want to show anything off from the boot camp. All right, you're signing Microsoft Office, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and sign in with our user. So ryan.lin@megabigtech.com. And we'll grab our password from our notes, the Super Ryan. Continue. And we have authenticated. There we go. So it says your access token is set to expire, blah, 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 blah. We have access and refresh tokens have been written to the global tokens variable. To use them with other GraphRunner modules, use the token flag. All right, so now we can see what modules we have access to in GraphRunner. And there's multiple ways that we could probably solve this next part, but let's look at this. If we look at pillaging modules, for example, we can search a mailbox to download mailboxes. We can search SharePoint and OneDrive. We can loop through some other stuff. Let's just try to download mailbox information. We can give that a shot. And so we have the syntax right here. We can even search for, I don't know what we want to search for. We can try password. Don't know if anything will pop up, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, so we have one email. User manager shared team member password reset guide with you. That sounds interesting. Message preview, blah, blah, open, blah, blah. Do we want to download it? Well, absolutely we want to download it. All right, I don't know what just broke. Did it at least download it? Okay. So a simple email viewer HTML is provided to view the exported emails. To use it, run the invoke HTTP server module in the mail server directory and then navigate to email viewer. So let's do it in the mail search directory. All right, and we'll just run that. Invoke HTTP server like so. And now let's go see if we can view this email, shall we? Finally made a stream. What's up, Itzy Rossio? Good to have you here. So here we do. We have two emails. Managing your team's passwords made easy. Let's check this out. Dear Ryan, welcome to Mega Big Tech Management Family. As a new manager, we're excited to have you join the team and want to ensure you have all the tools you need to succeed in managing your team effectively. One of your key responsibilities will be managing your team members' access to critical systems, which includes resetting passwords when necessary. We've streamlined this process with an internal automation system through Microsoft Teams to make it as efficient and secure as possible. Details of this can be found here. All right, security. Always verify correct details, and if you need assistance, reach out to Liana Howe, our IDAM manager, so Identity and Access Management, or the IT support team. So if we can target this person, knowing that they're Identity, Access, and Management, they might have a lot of power in the environment, and we can elevate our privileges throughout the Azure environment. So let's just copy their name down because that might come up later. And we'll put like IDAM manager there. And let's go ahead and see the details of whatever the heck we're supposed to do by just clicking this. Team member password reset guy. Classification internal sensitive. Well, we're coming for you. Can I zoom in? All right. Well, let's see how it works. This guide is designed for managers at Mega Big Tech to reset passwords for their team members using an internal automation system integrated with Microsoft Teams. The process is straightforward and allows managers to reset passwords efficiently while maintaining security protocols. This document is owned by the Identify and Access Management team. We have Liana Howe right there again. To use this automation, you must be a people manager, which we are. We are now Ryan Lynn, and be a member of the Pwn Labs Discord, which I am. I have met the requirements. So we need to access Microsoft Teams, navigate to the team, and then we have the syntax right here. So we need to tag user manager, put in the email that we want to reset, and then put in our Discord username. And we have an example with like keith.cole at megabigtech.com. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. We'll just do like Teams login, sign into Microsoft Teams, sign in. Red X, this is Abuse Azure Logic App Automation Lab. I'll drop it in the chat. And here we are. We are in Microsoft Teams. What is all going on in our teams today? Go General? Look at that. There was a dirty hacker in the system named Tyler Ramsbey saying Tyler Ramsbey was here at 7:23 p.m. But we are in the Teams account. And if we follow our instructions, it says, number one, locate teams. And from list of teams, select user managers. So we have our user managers team right there. And we have a general channel. We can see some previous messages, or at least one that maybe didn't go through. Once in the user manager once in the user's manager's team, navigate to the general channel. In the input box, enter a message in the following format. So let's give that a shot. We'll go to message, and we'll do user manager. And we want to reset Liana Howe. And my Discord name is Tyler Ramsbey because I have no OPSEC, clearly. And I'll zoom in so you guys can maybe see that a little bit better. We got user manager, Liana Howe at megabigtalk.com, and Tyler Ramsbey, and we're going to click send. And now, do I need to start a post, or can I just do it that way? In the message input box, I think I did it right. Okay, it says he's processing my request. Beautiful. And now I need to stop sharing my screen just for a moment because we're going to switch over to my host computer where I have Discord signed in. And it worked. Now I'm trying to think the best way to show this. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if you guys see my Discord. There's not anything sensitive in and of itself. So if we switch over to your Discord account now, you can see you'll get a message from the Pwn Labs Azure Password Reset bot from the Pwn Labs Discord. Now, when I was doing this initially, I had an issue where the bot wouldn't message me. So if you have that issue, I had to send a message to the bot first. So I sent a DM to the bot saying, hey, and then I was able to do it. But you can see right here, we successfully reset Liana's password. And so I'm going to grab that there from the Discord bot, switch back over to camera, go back over to my VM. And there we go. We have the password reset. Liana Howe at megabigtech.com, and then the password right there. So now we can see if we can log into Liana Howe's account and see what information we might be able to get access to. So I'm just going to open a new tab. We'll just change this one to Graph Runner. That might come up handy later. And we'll change this one over to Terminal. And let's do AZ login /u Liana -P for password, and we'll grab Liana's password like so, and we're going to have to probably escape some characters. Oh no, that works just like that. Beautiful. And we were able to authenticate. Now there's a few things we can do once we get initial access, and if we jump back over to my notes, once again from when I did the boot camp that I recommend to all of you, if we jump over to this, we have phishing for a foothold. So this is all initial attacks. Let's go over to my notes, and we can check out like attacking and offending Azure resources. And we can just check out this first one, attacking Azure container apps. All right, so we don't need to do that. Here is similar, right? So we have initial access. Now we can list what resources we might have access to. So let's do that. AZ resource list. Okay. We have access to the Teams bot password reset, an Azure Logic app, or a low-code or no-code way of doing automation, which based on the name of the task of attacking Azure Logic app, it's a good thing that we're probably in the right place right here. But we need to get more information about this bot, which I don't know how to get more information about this bot. So what we're going to do is use the almighty power of AI, because I always forget the syntax of these different cloud commands. And we're going to say, how can I get more info on the password reset Azure Logic app bot thing here? We'll see if ChatGPT can help me out with some of the syntax. So we can use AZ logic workflow show command to get detailed information. So we pass it our resource group, which we saw, and then the name. So let's just give that a shot, and we'll see what happens. Cross our fingers. This command requires the extension logic. Do you want to install it now? Yeah, I mean, YOLO, let's install it. What's my phone saying? My phone is telling me to stream on Twitch. Well, guess what, phone? I am already streaming on Twitch. Hey, did it work? It did. All right. So we have all the information about this bot. You can see our Teams bot password reset East US. Is ChatGPT expensive? I mean, I think even the free version default spec of ChatGPT, you get access to a lot of things. I do have a sub though, but I don't pay for it. I have it through work. But I think it's like $20 a month. But like I said, I don't pay for it. It's all through work. Now, if you look through all of this syntax here, you'll be able to find the flag. Oh, I think I just saw it actually. But this is just the bot for resetting the password. We were able to get access to it. All right, we're going to go like this. Same command, but we're going to grep for flag. And we'll grep for flag. Now, we want to see what the flag is. So I think it's -C maybe for context, and we'll do context 10. And there we go. We have the flag right here, default value. And there is going to be our flag in order to complete the scenario. We'll jump back over to abuse Azure I can't say that. Abuse Azure Logic App Automation. That's going to be the flag. And I already submitted it, so it's not going to let me submit it. But I do want to show you, for those of you who are new to Azure, maybe some of this is overwhelming to you, let me show you everything that you get through Pwn Labs. So you could have followed the guide right here, which would have walked you through this, probably a little bit different. I tend to do it a little bit different than the guide, but a very detailed guide on how to do each one of these attacks. And not just showing how to do it, but explaining some of the reasoning behind what we are doing. So we have the graph runner module. We did all that. Get inbox commandlet. Oh, but they used the graph runner GUI in the guide. So you get hands-on with the GUI or the graphical interface or graph runner. We ended up using the CLI and downloading the email that way. Either one clearly works. And what did they do here? Oh, they downloaded stuff from OneDrive. Oh, so you could have got the team member password reset guide from OneDrive or SharePoint. We just got it from the email, of course. We didn't verify if Leanna Howe was correct. I just kind of assumed that was correct. Is Pwn Labs free, Lucky? There's a bunch of labs on Pwn Labs that are free, yes. But it's kind of like TryHackMe. They have a bunch of free labs, but they also have premium labs. This lab in particular is premium. And then, of course, the team stuff, which I did that. We got the Discord notification. We reset it. I'm curious how they did this. So AZ resource list. They did, okay, so they did AZ logic app show. Isn't that what I did? Oh, I did logic workflow show. Okay. Because there's errored out on logic app show. Let's see if we can access the workflow instead of using a different workflow list. Logic workflow list. So just different ways of accessing. The first one didn't work. Second one worked. For me, ChatGPT gave me the right command right away, so it worked for us. So defense. Let's examine the security of the Logic App trigger mechanism. The app is initiated from a Microsoft Teams channel, which can be considered a trusted environment due to its integration with Azure ID and group-based access controls. A primary security measure to implement would be conditional access policies, which can effectively prevent unauthorized access from unmanaged or untrusted devices. In other words, if that was in place, we would not have been able to access Teams. Another one to consider is restriction of permissions to specific administrator groups. However, it's important to note that internal automation processes play a significant role in maintaining security. A fundamental principle is to always validate user input, regardless of whether it originates from a trusted source or not. Furthermore, it's essential to verify that users have the appropriate permissions for their specific request. Like, it shouldn't have allowed us to reset the password for a higher privileged user, I don't think. But we have the Power Platform offers built-in connectors that can be leveraged for various security checks. Got it. What could have prevented the exploitation chain in this particular scenario, where the automation is designed to reset passwords only for direct reports, is for the Logic app to utilize the Office 365 users connector. This connector allows for retrieving manager information, checking to confirm whether the requester is indeed the manager of the users whose password is being reset. If this condition is not met, the automation should be configured to fail, thereby preventing unauthorized password resets. For more details on implementing this check, please refer to the Microsoft documentation on the Git Manager v2 operation. Hey, did we get a raid? Amazing. What is up, raiders? Good to have you all here. I didn't even see it pop up. I wonder if Restream doesn't show me the raid, but good to have you guys here. Thank you for joining, but this is the end. So for those of you jumping in the raid, you just missed this entire lab, but we just did a hands-on Azure lab. We started with OSINT with the screenshot, and then from the screenshot, we were able to basically compromise the Azure environment, compromise their email, compromise Microsoft Teams, reset the password for the identity and access manager, and then get deep into their environment and find a flag in an Azure Logic app. I cannot say that word for some reason. Hey, hopefully you guys learned something in the process. Once again, if you missed any part of this, the full video will be on my YouTube channel after the fact. But thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.